Good morning, students. Good morning to all. And last day we have studied the chapter 25th, the international business. And also we have studied the advantages of the international business. Today just we will go to the next concept. Today we will start from the disadvantages of international business. So even though if there is more advantages in this international business or the international trade, so some of the disadvantages also is there in this international business. So under this following heading, we can come to know about the disadvantages of international business. First one is economic independence. So when we are involving in this international economics or the international business, so all the nations have to be in one of the compulsory situations, that is depending on another one of the nations. So already we have studied, so no nations are having any of the self-sufficiency in these productions of any commodities. But even though if you have some of the advantages to depending on another nations, some of the disadvantages is also there. So the international trade is more likely to make the country too much dependent on imports from foreign countries. The farmer may not take any effort to produce goods and services indigenously to substitute imported goods and thus becoming self-sufficient. Because the farmers also will be in the decreased unemployment, and also they will not have the opportunity to borrowing the money from any of the financial organizations to improve their cultivations, and they will not get any of the interest to improve their money crops. So if you want to gathering more foreign currencies, we have the only one chance to get the increasing the exports. And not only that, because of the insufficient level of the self-sufficient of producing any of the food crops, so they have to depending on any other nations. So in this case, these another nations made us to make more dominate. So as a result, the importing country may become economically slave to exporting country and end up becoming colony of the exporting countries. So which nation is going to export, that nations may dominating the importing countries, and that importing countries also may become the slave countries of the exporting countries. Next, inhibition of growth of home countries. The international business may discourage the growth of indigenous industries, because when we are allowing the import countries or the import trade, so we will never get the chance or any of the opportunity to improve the industries in these indigenous or the home countries. So unrestricted imports and severe competitions from foreign companies may ruin the home industries altogether. In beginning, the foreign countries may dumping all type of the goods in our domestic market and within the low price. So we, because of the low price in commodities, so the peoples in these home countries also will be purchasing the foreign commodities only. But within the short period, so the marketplace for the domestic countries will be eradicated. Next, import of harmful goods. The international business may lead to import of luxury goods, the spurious goods and the dangerous goods, etc. It may harm the well-being of peoples. If you are allowing the international business, sometime we have the chance to importing the harmful goods which is affected the human bodies abundantly. And by some of the entrepreneurs or some of the sellers also will be importing or exporting the goods which has the illegal activities. Next, the shortage of essential goods in home countries. So the export of essential commodities out of the greed of earning more foreign exchange may result in absolute shortage of these goods at the home countries. So all the exporters of the home countries will have one of the objective that has earning more profit. Because of having that objectives of earning more profit, he will produce more and export all the produced commodities to the other countries. And because of that, so the shortage will be arranged in our home countries. So if the shortage of any commodities is arranged in our home countries, the demand of the commodities will be increased, and the price also may be increased, and the peoples in the home countries will be affected by increasing the price level and the artificial demand also, because we have more chance to produce all type of the commodities in the home countries itself, but purposely we will not do it because of only the objectives of earning more profit. When we are exporting the same commodities to the another nations, we can have the more chance to earning the profit. So and the people may have to buy these commodities as exorbitant price in the local market also. Next, the misuse of natural resources. So in this international trade, another one of the disadvantages is the misuse of natural resources. So all type of the natural resources will be going to misuse by the foreign investors or the local or the domestic entrepreneurs. The excessive export of scarce natural resources to various countries across the world may lead to faster depletion of the resources in the exporting countries. So if you are taking the resources, we can considering the all type of the resources, maybe the natural resources, human resources, and the populations and skillful labor and whatever may be. So it will be exploited by the for investors. And not only that, so the domestic entrepreneurs also will be used the natural resources beyond the optimum level because of the reasons of earning more profit. This in turn may bring about ecological disaster in the country from which it is exported. Next, political exploitations. The international business may create economic dependence among the countries which may threaten their political independence. Suppose if any of the nations are being more depending on any of the other nations, that nations may ruin the importing nations as very dangerously. So the multinational companies may influence the policies decision of the government to their favor. Normally, the for multinational companies also have the separate rules and regulations and the other criterions. So the multinational companies also dominate the government to bring about the favorable terms and conditions. So in due course of time, they may dictate terms to administrators of nation by the sheer strength of their money power. For example, Britishers came to many countries as mere traders and ultimately colonized those countries and ruled them for centuries. Next, rivalry among the nations. Some of the rivalry also will be arranged among the nations. So, acute competitions for export may lead to rivalry among the nations. This may lead to conflicts of interest among the countries and end up in wars among them. So the competitions among the nations also will creating the war and some of the misunderstanding and many rivalry. Because nowadays all the nations are motivated or being motivated by earning more income or increasing their GDP and their national income. So if the competition is increased, they can easily increase their income and they will become as a developed. So, but in this case, if any of the misunderstanding or if any of the rivalry, if any of the problem is there, so it will be lead to war. Next, invasion of culture. The international business may result in invasion of countries' culture. The younger generation is more likely to imitate foreign culture and buy goods and services beyond their means to gain acceptance. So normally all the youngsters also want to imitate the foreign cultures which is not suitable to our cultures, and they will take more effort to purchasing all these commodities beyond their purchasing power. It will be lead to poverty. So this will ruin the conventional lifestyle of the societies. So in this case, we will not continue to the maintenance of Indian cultures. Okay, students, some of the disadvantages also is there. So the 9 or the 8 disadvantages are there in this international business. Next, we must know about the differences between the domestic business and the international business. So both business also will come into the trade only, but some of the difference are there. We must know about that differences. First, on the basis of some headings, we can differ the domestic business and the international business. First, on the basis of meaning. So what's the meaning of domestic business mean? The domestic business refers to the business transaction transacted within the geographical boundaries of a countries. Within the boundaries of one country, within the same geographical boundaries of one countries, if the purchasing and the selling is happened, that is called domestic business. So on the basis of the meaning of international business, it is refers to the business transaction transacted in beyond the boundaries of a countries. So if the buying and the selling activities is takes place among the two or more countries, it is called international business. Next, the participants in business. What are the participants are coming to the business in domestic business and the international business? Some of the individual people or organizations within the same country only participate in the business activities. So in this domestic business, some of the individual peoples or maybe the organizations will come to the business activity, but the within the countries peoples or the organizations only have to participate. But in this international business, the people and the organizations of outside the country participate in business activities, and any of the people or any of the organizations from outside of the countries also maybe participate in this international business. Next, mobility of factor of productions. How the factor of productions will be mobility from one place to another one of the places in the domestic business and the international business means. The factor of productions, as we have studied the four factor of production, land, labor, capital, organizations. The factor of productions will move freely within the boundaries of a countries. So there is no any barriers to moving from one place to another one of the places. So all the factor of production easily moving from one places to another one of the places, but within the same boundaries. But in this international business, the factor of productions move across the boundaries of the countries. So all the factors of production, the land, labor, capital, technology, and the human knowledge, everybody will be moving from one nation to another one of the nations. So move across the boundaries of our domestic countries. Next, nature of consumers. How the consumers are being, or what are the nature of the consumers in this domestic business means. The consumers are relatively homogeneous in nature in terms of culture, behavior, taste and preference, legal system, customs and practices, etc. So what are the rules and regulations and the business act? Everything will be the same within the all people of the domestic countries. But in this international business, the consumers are relatively heterogeneous in nature in terms of culture, behavior, taste, preference, legal system, customs, and practices, etc., prevailing across the countries. Because in this international business, so one product of a nation is going to the another one of the nations, so that people have to consuming, have to get the chance to consuming all type of the commodities produced by another one of the nations. So the taste and preference and the terms of cultures and the legal systems, customs and practices, everything will be different across the countries. Next, business system. How the business system is taking place, undertaking in this domestic business and the international business mean. The domestic business is governed by the rules, laws, and policies, taxation system of a single country. So, for example, if you are taking the India, so the rules and regulations and the laws and policies, taxation system of India only will be governed. But in this international business, so it is governed by rules, laws, and policies, and the tariffs and quotas, etc., of multiple countries. For example, if you want to export to the another one of the nations, we have to follow and obey the rules and regulations and the conditions and quotas of the prescribed or the particular nations. But in these domestic countries, not like that. So all the persons and all the entrepreneurs and the industries have to governed by the single countries. Next, the currency used. What type of the currency is used in this domestic business and the international business? So in this domestic business, transactions are settled by local currency of the country. So in this domestic market, so the same currency, the Indian rupees only, have to use to transaction of any commodities, or purchasing and selling of the commodities is used by only the Indian currencies. But in this international business, transactions are settled by foreign currencies. So here, so all the currencies will be moved from one nation to another one of the nations. And not only that, one of the objectives of the import trade is also earning more profit in the sense of other currencies. Next, mode of transport. What type of the transport is used in this domestic and the international business means? The goods involved in domestic business are mainly transported by roadways and railways. Or what are the transport system is maintained by one nations within the boundaries of the nations is used to transaction of the goods and services. But in this international business, the goods involved in international business is mainly transported by water and airways. So mostly the goods and services are transactions from one nation to another one of the nations by help of the water. Water may be the ships and the airways only. Next, risk exposure. What type of the risks will be arised in this domestic and international business? The risks involved in domestic business are relatively less, because there is no matter, or there is no loss will be arised within the countries, because mostly the transport cost only will be there, and all the produced commodities will be moved within the boundaries of the same nations. But in this international business, the risk involved in international business are more due to distance, difference in socio-economic and political conditions, and change in foreign exchange value, etc. Next is scope of market. How the scope of market is undertaking in this domestic market. The scope of market is limited to national boundaries of a countries. So if any of the product want to get the place in the domestic market, the scope of market will be very limited. But in this international business, the scope of market is wide and extend beyond the frontiers of the countries, because the one commodities may have more chance to gathering or occupying a best and the first place in all the market of throughout the world. Next, payment of excess duty. In which way we have to pay the excess duty in these domestic nations and the international business means? The payment of excess duty involves simple procedures and it is relatively low in domestic trade. So how the tariff policies or the tax policies is conducted by the nations, on the basis of that nations and the policies and the ways only the excess duty is going to pay. But in this international business, the process of payment of excess is complicated in international business and the rate of excess duty is relatively high. Okay, students. So the difference between the domestic and the international business is one of the important questions. Just you take these questions as your study portions, and if you have any doubt in this difference between the domestic business and international business, please ask me. Thank you.